Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the finest Dawn of War Unification casts this side of East Yorkshire. And today we've got a best of three. The first game beyond Fata Morga. Playing on the northern side as the Chaos Space Marines, we've got Custom King. And playing on the southern side as the Ynarri, we have got Drakon. Just wait for your brain to finish their poetry before we continue.
Thus ends the prophecy.
I never know what to do with my camera while Yvrain is whinging on, but hey-ho, that is the way things go. Now, this is quite an exciting cast of games, I would say, as every single game is going to feature Custom King, and he's going to be playing Chaos. I know that Chaos is quite a common faction. A lot of players will be up against Chaos, or they will want to learn how to play Chaos, and with Custom King being quite an aggressive player normally, I know that a lot of new players online struggle against aggressive players the most. We've all been in those games where we're trying to learn a new game, and in the first 5 minutes we get rushed and killed. So, I thought, yeah, show some of these games and, teach you, stuff, how to do things, how not to do things, and, heaven forbid, maybe learn and have fun along the way. Isn't that cool? Anyway, for openings, we've got a Dark Eldar add-on for Drakon, which is quite a decent opening for the Ynarri, considering that the Dark Eldar warriors do have some quite significant weapons to open up with that are quite good against heavy infantry. We are seeing a Chaos Lord as well as some Chaos Space Marines coming right over to see who they can bonk on the head. Storm Guardians just capturing their bits and bobs at the moment. And yeah, like I said, Custom King, quite aggressive. He is just going to send as many boys as he can over to basically mess with loads of people. But Yvrain's quite a decent commander for the Ynarri, considering that she's much like a Farseer in the sense that she's quite squishy, quite nimble, and she's got her Mind War. Well, it's not Mind War, but it's kind of similar in the sense that you target one dude, does a lot of damage, but also there's some stunning or slowing of a mass of boys. So she's going to walk in, generally just a casual walk in. Look at the size of her compared to those big chunky boys. On their own, they're not going to do much, but they're just going to be decapping stuff. Going to be a bit of a nuisance. Warrior squad out at the moment, probably looking to get those Shredder rifles. Do you believe it's Shredder rifles when they get things, or the soul armory on the go. These guys aren't going to be doing much, but they have managed to get that decap. And when you're playing aggressive, you want to make sure that you are doing you're not going to be doing many killing blows. You're not going to be cornering off any kind of environments for now, but any kind of just minor nuisance that you can sort out, that is a major boon to your side. Do have the Chaos Lord out here now. That Mind War ability already being used up, and the Chaos Lord is able to just, look at one swipe, already taking a good chunk of health off, but his main focus is the Warrior Squad, as this is where the main DPS for the Ynarri come in the early game, so he'll want to sort them out. But can't exactly take 2 squads on, so it is going to run away. Yvrain hot on his heels. I've seen the cultists not being used as aggressively, they are just primarily the capping squad. So we are all seeing the Prone Sword Shard locations, which the Ynarri want to capture all of them, but realistically, if one is spawned in the Chaos Space, you're not going to be making use of that global buff if you're able to cap all those points. Chaos Space means in the centre of the map. Another mindy doodad going on the Chaos Lord. A fair bit of damage on him, but he's just going to stand firm, not going to try and chase after anyone. Actually, quite a lack of Chaos Warriors at the moment. Have you got some? Oh, it's got some. Oh dear, oh dear. They've been sent over here to capture the critical location, but not quite being able to snag it. Chaos Warriors, against all this mass, aren't going to be doing much, and actually managing to counter that early aggression just by building as many lads as humanly possible. Now, there is a catch-22 to this. Yeah, okay, you're able to counter that early heavy infantry aggression by buying lots of boys and girls yourself, but the more you commit to Tier 1, the slower it is for you to get into Tier 2. And at the moment, Custom King, have you got any? No, you've got no green money, so you are just set for Tier 1 shenanigans all the way. So no heavy bolters or plasma guns for these guys anytime soon. And at the moment, they aren't really capturing the map at all, really. But they are getting their numbers up. Cultists now being activated, coming over to slap over these Storm Guardians. I've got some cultists chilling out over here as the Dark Eldar Warriors get some stabbers on these guys. And even though the Warrior Squad don't like close combat, and the actual cultists are actually fairly decent in close combat, all things considered, they're just going to get stabbed. But then again, now being supported by a whole squadron of dark, chaosy dudes. Yeah, this bad positioning for Dracon's warriors will probably be best to pull them out ASAP, but some stuff going on over here probably getting his attention. So these cultists will go down, but at the trade of losing... Oh no, they're going to start running now. Go on, get out there. No, never mind. They're all dead. So actually that's a major loss for them as a squad of dark warriors. That's fairly expensive. What about 220 blue money, something like that? I've gone for some mimes, which for the Ynarri you tend to, from the games that I've seen, you tend to go for one kind of faction. So Drakon opened up with the Dark Eldar. You tend to sit on that until he gets into tier 2, but he's opened up a little bit early, going to go for some Harlequins, anticipating maybe some vehicular play from Custom King, as he's not been able to get that early game victory, so he's now had to build a plasma generator, now thinking about tier 2 and stuff. But mimes, they can get their fusion guns in tier 2, which lets them bonk vehicles and stuff. Fairly nice. Also able to infiltrate them as well, which make them a bit difficult to deal with. Although the Chaos Forces do have the Chaos Lord, who is able to pop down a... Oh, what's it called? A Tainted Auspex, which can see things. Cultists can also get fiery demonic eyes to see things as well. But don't want to really rely on those cultists, considering that they are quite fragile. But that is a good amount of boys. That is a fairly good amount of boys. They're going to start rocking and rolling over onto this side. Chaos Armor has been finished, so they could go for some heavy bolters, which will be amazingly useful against all the infantry of the Ynarri. Down over on this side, the warriors have moved over and have started capping some critical locations, losing the one over on this side to the cultists. And one thing that a lot of, well, Chaos and Space Marine players tend to do is that once all the cultists and scouts tend to die, they basically stop using them. They think, right, okay, no point in having any more. We're going forward. But actually, as cheap capping units, to constantly keep on top of these critical locations, always important to make sure that pressure is on the go for you. Also good for just like general harassments. Maybe on the sides, maybe you've killed a bunch of listing posts on these sides. And you don't want to use your big expensive units to do the decapping. So always having like a low value capping unit in your army is always quite useful, just to keep the enemy's economy off the Richter, or whatever you would say. Infiltration been finished, and actually, with all the Chaos dudes over here, now would be the time to move down over on this side, but I suppose they don't really have much in the way of scouting going on for these guys. Now they've seen these guys attacking the relic, got a choice either come back to defend or push forward and assault. At the moment, there's not much building damage in these guys, unless the mimes. Where are you, mimes? Oh, you're over here. I've not gone for... Oh, right, they're not in tier 2 yet. They need to get their Yned awakened, so actually in tier 1. So I always get the Eldar confused with the Ynarri, but the Soul Army is not their tier 2. Contrary to popular belief, the sheer amount of DPS these guys have got, they've now got the Shredder rifles, and Custom King is going to really struggle against the sheer amount of DPS that these guys can bring forward. But the mime is focusing on close encounters. We've got a master mime in there. Yeah, you just saw basically half a unit being deleted straight away. So this is the opportunity. This is when you start pushing in as quickly as you can. Chaos is going for tier 2, just about to finish for them. But they've got a good unit composition. They've got the anti-infantry, they've got the anti-vehicle already ready for them. They just need to get into tier 2 themselves, but they are not investing at all in it. Which is a problem for some players. They get quite comfortable in whatever tier they're in. They think, oh yeah, no need to upgrade because I'm winning now. And if I'm winning now, I'll win forever. But Dawn of War, specifically as the RTS that it is, it's one of those RTSs where if you're playing competently and the opponent's playing competently, eventually there's going to be pushes and pulls, there's going to be twists and turns. Like, you're not going to be winning for the entirety of the game. You might have a 5-minute window opportunity before you then have to pull back and maybe reconsider your composition, or I would want to say think of a different strategy. You're never winning for long in Dawn of War, and if you are, well, that's when the game ends, you know. Mimes are coming in. They've been spotted by the Tainted Auspex. These lads and ladies are not built for taking damage. Lovely consistent use of the Definitely Not Mind War on the Chaos Lord. Doesn't do the same amount of damage, but like I say, it slows them down a bit. I always thought it did AoE damage. But never mind me. It's not like I've seen many Ynarri games, to be fair. They're not a very popular faction. Well, I lied. When I say not popular, not as like that people don't like playing as them. It's just that so many Eldar factions, if you want a taste of Eldar, you've got quite a few options. It's like the Imperial Guard. If you want to feel like you're playing the Imperial Guard, what you've got... Well, the regular Imperial Guard, you've got Death Korps Krieg, Steel Legion. And soon, when the game is updated for 7.0, you'll have even more options. Crazy stuff. Anyway, we've got the Dark Eldar pushing into these guys, but good choice of Defiler. Able to use its artillery to knock these guys around. Also going for a heavy bolter. I do believe that replaces the Flamer. No, it doesn't. Replaces the... Oh, it replaces the general machine gunny thing. Fair enough. So this machine is built for killing infantry. Are we now in Tier 2? I don't think we are. No, we're not. We're still not in Tier 2. Go for Webway Gate. The moment you see an enemy with vehicles or anything that suggests that they're in Tier 2, you need to basically just stop what you're doing in its tracks and focus on taking up as much as possible. You can be forgiven in being behind a tech for a little while, but the longer you are out-teched, the quicker you are going to be mulched. Because at the moment, these guys have got nothing to combat this Defiler. Shredder rifles, just by sheer brute force, can do a fair bit of damage to the Defiler, but will take them a fair while, and it's not very efficient. Here comes that dreaded Chaos Vindicator. Terrifying stuff, especially when you've just got pure infantry. Vindicator's very fragile, able to kill it quite quickly if you can get close to it. But you need to make sure that you kill it very swiftly, otherwise whatever is attacking it will die. I've gone for a Harlequin Troop. And now only just starting that Tier 2 upgrade. So yeah, they managed to defend themselves very nicely from that Tier 1 aggression. Now deciding, right, okay, well, if we can't beat you here, we're going to move over on this and start beating you, which is fair enough. That is a fairly decent strategy. If you know you've got a losing force and they're coming in to beat things up, there's no point in really throwing away your army. You may as well try and attack other things, and maybe by putting pressure somewhere else, you can force the attacking player to bring their troops over on this side if they're not confident enough in their own fighting stuff. I do like these Harlequin models. Can we get a cheeky look? Just nice, isn't it? Nice colour scheme as well. Blue and red. Very Harlequin-esque. Yeah, it doesn't seem that it's really bothering the Chaos Space Marines all that much. Leaving the infantry here while sending the Vindicator over to sort things out. Hell Talent firing down on the listing post. Mimes not exactly being able to be used properly as that anti-vehicle Tier 2 unit that they so wish they want to be. But yeah, it's a Hail Mary essentially, which is a very decent tactic. When you be caught with your trousers down, it's the best thing to do. They're actually cutting through the listing post fairly nicely, but Chaos Vindicator, once it turns up, that's it. I mean, almost one-shotting this entire squad of warriors here. Which I know that the Chaos Vindicator is quite, in my honest and humble opinion, a fairly overpowered vehicle choice for the Chaos Space Marines. When going up against this light infantry, even more deadly than normal. Heavy infantry can kind of resist it for a little while. Not for very long, but infinitely longer than regular infantry. Hell Talon as well, also a remarkably useful unit for the Chaos roster. Primarily used to kill other people's plasma generators and economic harassment and stuff. There we go, some aggression from Drakon there, and that is that for Game 1. So nice one. So yeah, I don't think I need to do much of a post-game breakdown. I think I explained it as things were going on the fly. There's no memes in this game. There's no memes. It's a fairly serious game, believe it or not. I could do serious casting every now and then. So yeah, let's move on to game number 2. And here we are in game number 2. We've got Custom King on the right-hand side of Fallen City, playing as the Chaos Space Marines, and we have got the Happening on the left-hand side, playing as the World Eaters. Now, I know that I've said that Custom King is quite an aggressive player, and he'd like to get involved in the argy-bargies as soon as humanly possible, but against the World Eaters, that might be a potentially difficult thing for him to do. Now, one thing that you can do to counter the aggression players is by being aggressive yourself. I'm not sure what happens in this game, but we shall see how the happening goes about things. He's going to go for Dark Apostle, a Blood Pack Command Squad, and a couple of Blood Pack Troopers. Blood Pack Command Squad, you get one dude in there, and essentially in the early game you can just fill him up with... sorry, phrasing. You can fill his squad up with a whole bunch of lads, and that makes him surprisingly tanky, actually, considering that if you can get like 11 boys in there, then, I mean, it's just hard to kill 11 dudes with just cultists and a couple of, I assume we're going for, yep, some more Chaos Space Marines and the Chaos Lord. Yep, there we go. He's out there. Also going to go for a Dark Apostle as well. Comes out with some little slave friends, some useful dudes that can help him do some special abilities. I do believe one of them is increasing the movement speed and general attack rate of nearby dudes. Also, people nearby him cannot have negative morale being done to them. So it does help you keep your Blood Pack Troopers from running away. Do see the cultists over here. So we are seeing aggressive expansion from this side and also down here. On this map, you tend to just stay on your side of the river. But, like we say, aggression all around. I see the Blood Pack Command Squad coming forth. And yeah, he's just auto-reinforcing 15 blue for one lad. So you may as well just keep him going. Later on in the game, when it gets to tier 2, you are able to get that bodyguard. Significantly more useful. And also the Blood Pack Assassin, which is incredibly damage dealy in the close combat departments. The cultists are not going to be winning against the sheer amount of mass for these guys. But while that's going on, also the Chaos Space Marines going toe-to-toe against the Dark Apostle. Getting some Dark Disciples. There we go. They're not slaves. They are consensual beings in this transaction. And even though there's an Apostle, and you'd think, oh yeah, Apostles, they're like religious dudes. He's still armed to the teeth with his Ceramite armor and just... Is that an axe? Is that Crozius? Who really knows? But Chaos Lord comes down. And this dude... Oh, been slapped down straight away. But the Chaos Lord will win in close combat against the Dark Apostle. These guys, I do love their running. They're just the way that their little T-Rex arms go. Very nice stuff. He's going to run away as quickly as humanly possible. Blood Pack Command Squad getting that decap. Oh, well, actually, that's what I mean, right, sir? Get little capping units to go for your normal force, so they can do the decapping while your main squads actually start doing damage. And while it'll take them a while to get through this Chaos Temple, I mean, I wouldn't recommend going for the production. Normally you would start being aggressive towards the economy. But then again, if you kill this Chaos Temple, they can't build any more dudes. So, depends on what you really want to go for. Chaos Space Marines focusing on the Altar of Khorne, which Custom King might have an easier time with this, considering that the Altar of Khorne can't really defend itself. It's got one AoE blast. There's a fairly large cooldown on it. Chaos Lord going toe-to-toe with the Dark Apostle. And as you can see, it's not even close. He's just going to go around. And those Dark Disciples don't really do anything. They just kind of stand there. You can sacrifice them, from what I understand, to do your spells and stuff. All Chaos Space Marines coming out of the Chaos Temple. As the Blood Pack Troopers, now are warriors, sorry, even, are just going about. And even if they don't get any kills, if they stay in close combat for long enough, it does increase the blue money income for the World Eaters. Currently no plasma generators at the moment, though. I assume you're building some. Might be an idea to build them in the around these areas. You sometimes do see it on this map where you don't build stuff inside your own base. It is easily assaultable, but generally in this middle bit, it's a lot more defensible. He says, Blood Pack Warriors being a nuisance. Chaos Temple, Slipper should have been whittled away. No heretics to repair it at the moment. Chaos Lord also out of position. Being a bit too aggressive. We are seeing some Core Knight Marines. And these guys do a fair bit of damage with their bolters. Don't really want to rely on them too much. You don't want your entire force to be built upon those, but if you're trying to save money to get into tier 2, Core Knight Marines aren't a bad shout. The decapping inside the base. Very nice stuff. Also trying to build up a listing post. I mean, the chance of this surviving is very small, but if you're able to finish it and keep it online for about 30 seconds, 60 seconds, something like that, it does pay for itself. And it also forces these guys to spend time trying to kill it as well. So very good. Lots of Chaos Space Marines from either side. Everyone trying to chase down that Chaos Lord there. Chaos Lord goes down. They are now able to turn their attention to the Chaos Space Marines. That is a major loss for Custom King. Actually, Dark Apostle can now just roam free. in getting involved in close combat with these Blood Pack warriors, while the Core Knight Marines provide that firing support. Chaos Templar's gone down, and now they're going to focus on the Desecrated Stronghold. Will take them a fair while to get it down, but if they can kill it, that is basically GG for them. I mean, what is it to repair this? Well, to replace Stronghold, it's something like, what is it, like 400 blue, 80 green, something like that. And if you try and build a second one, like the cost of it increases. Core Knight Raptor squad being summoned forth. And that is the bread and butter of the World Eaters. Normally see players just open straight up with them. But the problem with going straight for the Raptors is that, yeah, okay, they come in, they bash things around in close combat. But, I mean, if you just basically move your boys back like this, you kind of struggle with some firing support going on. That should help them quite a lot. Yeah, Chaos Space Marine's going to run back. I mean, what's the plan here? They've been quite aggressive and stuff, which is quite nice, but I mean, aggressive to the point where you're not even defending your own base. I mean, it is going to it's going to take them a while. It's going to take them a fair while. Like I say, probably better to go for the economy, but they have now forced the Chaos Space Marines away from their own base. Because the King not being too happy about this. Emotions riding high in all the games here. No one's happy when you're playing as or playing against the Chaos Space Marines. After all, playing meta. Who plays meta, right? Oh, like that Core Knight Marine just kicking that dude in the face. Very nice stuff. So you're not going to get too many kills in this, unless, of course, Custom decides just to stand still. Probably not what he wanted. He wants to turn around and get out there ASAP. But even if you don't get many kills chasing people down, you're at least generally doing a little bit of damage. You're at least making sure that they can't stand still and force them all the way back home. And there we go. You see, that all it required was one squad of Chaos Space Marines to force these guys away. Love the voice acting for the command squad. I know I say every single game, but it has to be said. I have to remind you. Really, no one's going for tier 2 at the moment. It's a very scrappy game. But at the moment, it seems that the World Eaters have got the advantage just by sheer numerical superiority. And once these guys are being supported with some big chunky lads, can't really take them down. Good economies. I've completely forgot to actually mention any economy so far. 97 and 20 compared to 92 and 10, so very even Stevens. Did I do an economy check in the previous game? I don't think I did. Too focused on the strategy, which is not something I normally do. It's not how I tend to like to do these casts, but got a mission here. There's a purpose for this best of 3. Chaos Lord is back on the field, probably wants to hunt down the Dark Apostle. That is his main objective, but he does not want to get surrounded by all these Core Knight Raptors. These guys will turn anything into mincemeat if they stand still for too long. Just a lot of Chaos Space Marines. No upgrades on the weapons at the moment. I've rebuilt that Chaos Temple down here. Going to go for some plasma generators. And now these guys are going to come down over and see if they can finish off this Desecrated Stronghold. Hasn't been repaired, as repairing a building does reduce your income for as the repairing is going on, if I understand that correctly. And now they've got a fairly decent chance of getting this down. What's your choice, Mr. King? Are you going to come back and defend, or are you going to push forward? I would probably recommend not losing your stronghold. You can lose a listing post, you can lose your recruitment buildings, but losing a stronghold is a bit of a major pain. I'm still going to keep some cultists on the back lines to keep these guys occupied. Chaos Space Marines being chased around by the Raptors, but double Chaos Space Marine squads will come over. Chaos Lord charging forward, trying to get those heretics out for repairing stuff. Forced it back a little bit, but straight away being focused by these lads. Which decided to build a heavy bolter turret, which is not... are you in range? I don't think you're in range. We'll see. Nope, not in range. Although whether that was just to defend, maybe in case these guys kill this and start pushing down here. Not entirely sure, but they see the mass of CSM on the side right. None of this. We've distracted you long enough. We've managed to also get our Core Knight Raptors down here as well, so they don't really need to commit to one form of aggression. And that's one thing you could do if you know full well that you've got an army. I mean, if you get all your army in one big mass, then they can defend in one big mass. But if you split it up and just pick apart your opponent, go in for hit and run attacks, because then when these guys start coming down to fend these guys off, well then these lads can then just come over here and do this. So even if your army is not technically better than the opponent's army when they're all together, if you've got more of them, that's something that you can do. Looking to potentially put on another heavy bottle turret, but not quite doing that. Instead, just focusing on repairing this stuff. Tier 2 on the way for Custom King. Are we Tier 2 for you? Oh, yes, you are. Your Tier 2 is building the Blood Apothecarian. Will be important also to see them get their economy upgrade, as you don't get much economy from these guys. Definitely require that upgrade. So far, a little bit of silence as the Connacht Raptors engage in close combat. And then there we go, look at that. So they're attacking over on this side, and at the same time these guys are attacking over here. Getting a squad wipe on these Chaos Space Marines down here. But when Tier 2 hits, all depends on what Custom goes for. I imagine vehicles will be the way forward here against a mass of infantry and heavy infantry. Of course, you've got to go for the Chaos Vindicator. It's just standard at this point. Even if they don't go for a massive infantry, Vindicator is always a good choice, just in case they've got any fresh ideas. Forces them into a kind of build order. Now, the World Eaters have got a fair few options ahead of them. They can go demons, they can go vehicles, they can go just more Raptors, but like upgrade them significantly more. Also got that Fawn Princess on the go. But if anything, the Happening could be a little bit more aggressive here. He has got the numbers, but it's kind of just denying some economy. I've seen the Chaos Armory being placed over here. Also, oh, I see what he's doing. He's equipping all his Connacht Raptors with melter guns, with the idea that once that's done, they'll be able to blast their way through buildings twice as quick. And also any vehicular stuff that Custom goes for will be quite vulnerable to them as well. So maybe actually Vindicators and stuff aren't the way forward. We'll go for one anyway, but these guys could jump straight on top of that Vindicator and just smash it up, as that is the main counter for Vindicator, like I said in the previous video, or the previous game, that if you can get enough people on him as quickly as humanly possible, that that'll do it for you. Got the Blood Pact Warriors amassed in number. Have you still got your commander? You do still have him. Going for one bodyguard. Which one is the bodyguard? Does he look cooler? Or do you want to say, ah, there you are the dude with the backpack. I do believe, very nice. Do quite like that model. Also he's physically taller as well. 6 minutes. Definitely didn't miss on Protein Day. Connacht jumping straight over. These guys getting a surround on them. And just remember as well that every time they engage in close combat, that is more economy for them. And if you've got a good scrap on the go for a long period of time, you've got more blue money than you really know what to do with. Also, if you're wondering, yeah, they've got quite a serious squad cap, but that's because all their models have their own individual squad cap, I do believe. Is it the models? No, I think it's just their units. But depending on the unit, obviously depends on the squad cap. Do have the Testuda transports coming on in. Chaos Vindicator, I mean, ideal against that massive lightly armoured infantry, almost killing the Blood Pact command squad actually. But when the Berserker Dreadnought engaged in close combat with it, we'll be having a very Merry Christmas. A couple of swipes will do it. The Hell Talon able to resist all that stuff. And actually going up against all this close combat stuff, Hell Talon is fairly decent, but the Chaos Raptors do have the melter guns on them. So, like I said, maybe the Hell Talon or any vehicles aren't ideal. I'm going to give it a go. Vindicator also quite good against vehicles as well. If you can kite the Berserker Dreadnought, should do a fair bit of damage. Does not want to stay too close to him. Does have a heretic nearby for repairing purposes. Very low health though. There we go, he's going to shimmy and shake as the Berserker bows out. Iconoclast Zealots, quite lethal models, very high DPS, also quite tanky, but very expensive at 75 blue and 25 green. I mean, the float on the Happening at the moment He's not too worried about losing models. He can spend money to his heart's content. Whereas Custom, how are you doing? You do not have the same economic luxuries. We'll send the Helltalons in the middle here. Take on this Thermoplasma generator, and these guys can't really do much against it. And of course, these Chaos Raptors have anything to say about it. How much damage do you do? You do a fair bit of damage. Not exactly the best kind of damage you want. So the Helltalon can be pulled back willy-nilly. There we go. Pull that one back. Leaving this one free. Not quite able to get that Thermoplasma generator down. Wherever you going, Helltalon, just doing a little bit of a loop-de-loop before going back. You could have probably focused down that Thermoplasma generator if you were a bit braver. Chronicles Zealots trying to get forward and see what's going on, but that's a lot of lads to really sort yourself out with. Yes, Vindicator almost been healed back to full health, but front line of a Hellfire Dreadnought, also armed with a missile launcher. I mean, that's actually a fairly decent frontline troop when you want to sort out a Chaos Vindicator. If you've got some Dreadnoughts or Walkers in general, equip them with some anti-vehicle stuff just so they can sort out the Vindicator itself, but then being followed up by our own infantry and stuff. The Judo transport goes down. Also, triple Helltalons coming in, actually. And that's nice. He knows that all the... Well, when he saw the Iconoclast Zealots, that there's a good chunk of forces over here. So they might be able to sneak around on this side, do some damage. Temple goes down. Also might be able to reset them back in the previous tiers, but Core Knight Raptor has been swift and nimble. They potentially get a kill. There we go. One Helltalon goes down. Another Helltalon quite low on health as well. We'll want to repair that. Elsmith is out for repairing stuff. The Hellfire Dreadnoughts, much like the what's it called, the regular Dreadnoughts in the regular Space Marine faction, not specifically designed to kill any one particular unit, just generally good against everything. So they won't be chunking down this Helltalon anytime soon. With the assistance of the Chaos Vindicator as well. Actually, these guys not doing all that hot. Will need some support from these guys, but actually, we do have a Great Gate and another Berserker Dreadnought. So, I mean, potential for intense relic units. Some Titan-esque things on the go. Raptors cleaning up down here. One Chaos Lord to defend. But the World Eaters, they're not being aggressive at the moment. They're thinking, right, well, and to be fair, that makes sense, right? If you are aggressive at this stage of the game, you've invested a lot in your Blood Mechanicum, you've invested a lot in your Great Gate. If you go in and lose any one of these engagements, that gives Custom King an opening to push forward. So, being a little bit defensive, making sure that you've got the potential to be aggressive on the northern side or the southern side, but just waiting for bigger, badder units. Got the Blood Crusade Tier 4 on the way, so at the moment they're happening, just thinking, right, if I can hold on, prevent the Vindicator and the Helltalons from doing too much damage to the base and their forces, then get those unstoppable Tier 4 units. Dark Apostle still knocking around on the back lines. Current economies are 122 and 99 compared to 105 and 62. You don't really need a huge blue economy for the World Eaters if you're constantly engaging in close combat. Iconoclast Zealots taking their space paracetamol to make sure they're okay. They'll be immortal for a little while. Bloodpack Command Squad, a little bit too far forward actually. Losing that morale. But those bodyguards are a lot more resistant to damage compared to the other lads and lasses. They will go down, been thrown away casually. And that's a sad time for all of them. I'm really excited to see what's coming from this Chaos Gate. Or this Great Gate, sorry. They've got access to pretty large tanks, do the World Eaters. And I'm not sure if Angron or someone like that is available for the World Eaters. I don't think we've seen Angron actually in the Unifications. No, we've seen him in Ultimate Apocalypse, but not Unification. There we go, Sicaria Battle Tank. Huge guns on this boy. And the Chaos Space Marines, yeah, they're kind of just letting these guys do their own thing for now. They want to keep their fighting forces to the maximum. And until they get that big tank out. And then when that big tank comes out, I imagine they're going to go in for that push. Melton been surrounded by melter guns. Will go down. Fawn Princess zapping this dude with corrosive green lightning. Vindicator a little bit far forward. Gets a blast right in the middle of those Cornet Marines. Another one in there as well. You do not want to mass up your infantry in any particular kind of way. But they do have their icon bearers, which will help them with the health regen. Now actually, there we go. Vindicator goes down. Problem when you push him too far forward, if you surround him with infantry yourself, Halfing does force him to turn around very slowly. Sometimes you can get caught on your own men. Now swapping out for some defilers. Sakarian battle tank, 86% done. And the Chaos attack isn't exactly looking all that fruitful at the moment. Going to replace with another Vindicator. Probably want to see some... I mean, have you seen the tank at the moment? Don't know if you have. Don't think you have. I suppose you probably have. You were pushing the other one. Yeah, you've probably seen that. So you should be expecting a big tank coming soon. So Pink Horrors will be ideally what you want. Man, that's such a huge tank. Really impressive firing rate as well. It's not down for the burst damage. It's just that consistent level of damage. If you've got a front line keeping it safe, it can just chew through things. But that being said, the Blood Tower down here is being spanked and tanked by the Defiler and the Fawn Princess. So much like the first game, Custom's thinking, wow, that's a lot of boys. We probably can't hold them off for very long. Or if we can, it will require a lot of stuff. Let's just move over here. They do manage to take down that HQ, actually. Quite decent. And oh, right. Oh, you can get Primarch Angron. Okay, nice one. That's quite exciting. But it does require some relic points. I do believe that the Weld Eaters, for every relic-esque unit that you get, it does massively increase the price of your other relic units. So unlike other factions, you're not capped to just one big unit or a couple of big units that are like locked between each other. You can just basically get them all, but it is quite expensive, which I quite like. I understand why some factions have got to lock off their relic units because they're really, really strong, but I like the idea of saying, yep, you can have them all, but it's just too expensive. You probably won't get them all. It's a natural way of, I would want to say, capping units, which I think it should be done really generally as a rule, I think. I know that like units like Plague Havocs in the Death Guard are capped at 2 because they're quite strong, but if you just said, right, okay, well, the first one is quite cheap, the second one's quite expensive, third one is redonkulously expensive, I think that'd be cool, but I'm not in charge. My opinion matters not. There we go, look at him. Primarch Angron, let's have a ganders at him. Powerful shoulders. Once a slave, turned despot. Those pain nails, or butcher's nails, sorry. Butcher's nails, a much cooler name than pain nails, I have to say. That's why I'm not a writer in the 41st Millennium. Going straight up against that Chaos Lord there. Chaos Lord managing to hold his own for a little while. Go on, get him. Actually, no, never mind. Being thrown through the wall. Very anime. He's going to be beating those guys to death. We do have some mutilators. Also going to go for some obliterators. The combination of those two could potentially hold these guys off. Warpsmith being dunked on. And yeah, Primarch still going at it. At the Iconoclast. Using a pink gin to keep her alive and well. But not for very long. And he's just going to walk around. The Bloodthirster to end all Bloodthirsters. The Blood Quencher, more like. And just no one can really stand up against him. Got the Helltons there. Oh, I see. Right, you're just committing to the base trade. When you've killed everything else, all you really need to kill now is the Blood Tower. It should be alright. This great stronghold has been taken down. Blood Tower also been built over here, so a literal base trade on the go. I do believe that sets them back quite substantially. Blitzer is trying to defend this side of the base as these guys go for the run. But even if they kill this, it won't do them any good. And now it's just a case of the fragments of everyone's armies going toe-to-toe with each other. But, I mean, if your fragment includes a Sicarian battle tank and a literal Primarch, it's not really fragment, is it? That's a whole standing fighting force right there. We've killed all the things. And now it's just a case of where is your last building. And they will see, actually, they know where it is. Over here. Can they get it down? Gonna focus on that. Oh dear, they've lost the Demon Host. Do they have any more? Oh, they've got one dude over here. So he might be able to get another building up just in the nick of time. They've got the money for it, so why not? Mutilator's looking to kill the Altars of Khorne. So I do believe that you also need to kill all the Altars of Khorne to get them out of the game. El Talons, only one of them left by the looks of things. Now, Chaos, do you have any more builders? You do, you have one over here. But you need to be able to capture one of these points to have, like, some building space. Unless, of course, you go for your Desecrated Stronghold. But you don't have the money for it at the moment. And with Blooming Angron knocking around, very careful where you hang out. Another Blood Tower over here. And there we go. Custom King, the gentleman as always, says no thank you. And that is that. So yeah, so one way to counter aggressive openings is, well, just be aggressive yourself. If you out-aggression the aggressive person, that is the way forward. So very nice stuff. Alright, let's go on with the third and final game. So here we are with the third and final game. It is still a 1 versus 1. We are on Deadly Fun Archaeology. And we've got me, you playing as the Black Templar. And we've got Custom King still playing as the Chaos Space Marines. Now, we have yet to actually see the Black Templar win a game, I do believe, on this map. So potentially, maybe, we can see the Black Templars pull it off. And much like the World Eaters, these guys have another aggressive kind of opening for a faction, as they just basically summon Crusader squads and bash things in the face. Now, we do sometimes see them go for some fire support squads as well. As, like I've said in the previous game, when you've gone for a good chunk of melee squads, it's quite easy to counter them because you just run away. If you've got some shooty boys, that's also good. I'm going to see a Castellan, which is very important for these guys as it does keep their things moving. Oh god, the cultists, they're annoying me with the voice, but if I go over here, the UI is just so disgusting. What do I choose? Auditory mischief or visual sickness? I don't know. I'll go for this for a little bit. We don't get to see this UI very often, just because I despise it. But yeah, we've got the Chaos Space Marines that are going to come forward, and on a map like this, very small, you can just basically send your boys over. Already seeing a heavy bottle turret over here for this contested strategic point. Now on some maps, when you're playing against an aggressive player, they will always try and go for these contested strategic points. Now what I mean by that is, like, on your side of the map, when it's symmetrical, you've got all your own and it just matches everything that they've got. Then sometimes you've got points in the middle which are free to a good home, and when you're up against an aggressive player, you've either got the choice of letting them have it, which then basically increases their economy, or you try and fight them for it. Now it all depends on really what you want to go for, whether you want to be more defensive. I would generally at least try and keep this, at least make sure that they're not ever feeling too confident with the holdings over here. Try and get them to play on the defensive. That's what Castellan is doing. It's forcing them to stay in the middle over here, making sure they don't push over too far into their own side of things, but they're also making sure that they're capping all their own stuff as well, which is quite good. Command squad is out, going straight for the Apothecary. An ideal maneuver, as it will keep those guys alive and fighting fit. And a command squad, along with a Castellan, will be able to fend off a good amount of lads, actually. Also, when they go into tier 2, they can naturally go for missile launches as well, which helps them counteract any Vindicator, Hell Talon, Defiler nonsense that Custom might go for. These guys are going to run away as a squad of Crusaders come forth. But be very careful though. If they lose the model, they have a potential to just stand still in close combat or charge after people. Very easy to pull a Black Templar player out of position or make him engage in a kind of fight that he doesn't really want to be in. Keep in the center. Yes, he's not really trying to sort this out. He's just making sure that the Chaos Space Marines aren't coming over onto his side, which is fair enough. He's focusing on capping all his own stuff. Custom King, though, while he's been aggressive, is still making sure that his economy is on the go. Not going for those plasma generators, though. As who needs green money when you live in Tier 1 for most of your life? Crusaders just staying in this middle, making sure that they're meeting these Chaos Space Marines as and when they need to. Gonna hide in this heavy cover.
We are ready to give our lives for the Emperor.
Boys will move forward. They're going to sit in the heavy cover themselves. There we go. Can't shoot us. We're shooting you in the same crater. That's the idea anyway. At this point now, just engage them in close combat, right? That'd be the idea. Oh, right, the cultists are coming in to distract them. Pushing them straight out as well. These guys were sumo wrestlers. They would have won right now. We said that fire support squad. There we go. That's what I'm on about. A little bit of fire support goes a long way with these close combat units. Crusade squad coming on down here to look for the critical locations. And even if you don't intend to go for a critical location victory, these guys do give you a little bit of blue money. It's always good to go for them. Now focusing down over on the southernmost side. On all the maps we've seen so far, your HQ is generally quite close to all the strategic points that you want to defend. Well, I suppose Fallen City is not exactly that, but on a map like this where your HQ is quite far away from a lot of stuff down here, it is easier to harass the far-flung flanks. Well, that was a bit of alliteration right there. Well done, mate. I could be a poet. I do write poetry every now and then. But, well, sorry, what on earth was I talking about then? Yes, assaulting these things is a lot easier than assaulting this up here because it's harder to reinforce if you get any squad wipes. So that's the idea that no, I'm just going to call him Hino. That's what I'm going to call him. Yeah, that's the plan for the Black Templars here. Getting that listing post down. Killing a fair few Chaos Space Marines. So the moment these guys stop chasing after them, they are stopping and then turning around to fire away. So a nice bit of micro there from Custom. Amassing the boys. Good economy is being 80 and 20 and 97 and 10. And the Crusaders over here, not sure where they're going. Maybe they got pulled out of position by their passive ability, their blood rage. There we go, yeah, these lads are very keen on staying where they are. Tell about that purple infliction around them. Does help them do more damage though. It's not a total debuff, it's just a real pain when you want to get these guys away and they're like, nope, there are heretics to kill. I ain't moving until they're all dead, dying. Potential squad wipe over here. Managing to chase them away there. Or run away, sorry. Like casting 3 games in a row does melt your brain. Just looking for those critical locations as the Crusader Fire Support Squad slowly but surely whittle away this listing post. In favour of the Chaos Lord should be able to solo these guys, or at least do them enough to allow the listing post time to upgrade itself. Castellan on the boys though, they see him. And on their own, well, the Castellan on his own probably wouldn't be able to beat the Chaos Lord in close combat, but with his best friends, the worst thing, leave the listing post to its own devices, focusing on killing the Chaos Space Marines. And that's another tactic as well, if you're going up against aggressive players. You're able to keep their squad, or should I say that their units, down to low numbers. That does prevent them from being more aggressive. Seeing this Chaos Space Marines out of position. Been shot down upon. Again, almost getting another squad wipe. If that squad wipe there happened and that one there happened, Custom would be shafted for units. Throwing down a grenade. Love the sound effect it makes. Sounds like someone's just thrown like a pan at a car or something. Metal on metal. I understand that's not how grenades sound, but what do I know? Chaos Lord, yeah, he doesn't want to get involved in this. He's not going to win an engagement against all these lads. Getting too confident. Norman the Melee King. But no, he's been uppercutted and shot to death. by this heavy bolter. And now they've got free reign. Squad wipe there going on. As these mad lads cut and tear through things. Now, have you you've started going for tier 2. Have you started going for tier 2? No. You've got potential. You've got the green money for it. Vow uphold the honor of the Emperor. Oh shit! Right, so the Black Templars are able to get 4 different global buffs for their lads. One is like good against psychers. One increases their melee damage? Question mark. One increases their overall melee defense. I think. Never remember which one does which. Either way, they're all buffed now. And I assume it'll be the most optimal one for whatever Miha or Niha. Shit! This player, whatever he's going for. Mild frustration as I can't read things. A little bit of silence before these guys come forward. Sounds like that this heavy bolter's got a have you got a silencer on you? No. Just a very silent... There we go. Stealth heavy bolter. Can't hear him coming. I'm not sure what are you firing at? You're just having... You're just firing. You're just enjoying yourself. Fair enough. If you can't squeeze the trigger just because then what are you doing really? Crusade fire support. They've gone for a couple of multi-melters and a couple of heavy bolters. Not being specifically good at either killing infantry or buildings when you're splitting your weapons up like that in one singular squad, but some general or generality never goes amiss. Machine pit on the way. And we know what's coming at this point. But these guys do have the anti-vehicle stuff going for them. It's just a case of, can they get in there and kill the Vindicator before it fires too much? They don't want to be standing together like this. One blast will do a lot of damage to all the models. Grenade being thrown. Was that the Templar Ynarri fighter throwing the grenade then? The Fawn Princess, she's out. First Lord being rebuilt. So the Fawn Princess is just going to jump straight in the middle of these guys and bash them around. Will not be ideal for the firing stuff. What have you been buying, Mr. Oh, Sword Brethren. Fair enough. These guys absolutely slapping close combat. Even the Fawn Princess won't want to get involved in them for too long. These guys are going to fall back a little bit. They've done the damage. They've got the decaps in. So they're sitting really pretty at the moment. Just got to be very, very careful. After all, they don't have many lads on the field at the moment. And I imagine... Have you gone for... No Vindicator at the moment. Yeah, okay. Maybe he's planning something different. Hell Talons, maybe. I mean, if there's a lot of or a lot of close combat stuff, airplanes are always quite good, but they do have quite a lot of missile launchers as well. Sword Brethren's shining bright like a diamond. Yeah, these guys just absolutely mess up anyone and everyone. Just... Only it takes a couple of seconds. Look at that, how quickly that one model went from more or less full health to zero stuff. Very nice stuff. Black Templars continuing the push. Crusade Fire Support Squad keeping the flank secure. Chaos Lord, yeah, he'd like to get involved in close combat, but he just can't, so he's going to use his plasma pistol to the best use possible. And right, okay, here comes the Chaos Vindicator. Black Templar should see this and think, right, oh heck, they're building something. We need to focus fire it down ASAP. There we go. Get it down, focus it down as best you can. Might as well want to pull these guys a little bit forward, as you do have... Oh no, you've got missile launchers, that won't help yet. We had the multi-melters will want to get in as close as humanly possible. Vindicator at 82%. Can they get it down? It's going to be so close. Ah, not quite. And now at this point, you ignore the machine pit. And then you turn your attention to the Chaos Vindicator. But no, they're going to fall back. You've got the men. They've not really got much to defend it with. There's no front line. Oh, what a misplay there. That's so unfortunate. lacking the confidence, man. But if they just pushed forward, that Vindicator would have been killed, and they would have had no opportunity to rebuild it. What a shame. And now they're charging back in, but now they've got to basically run the gauntlet going towards him. Crusader squads aren't going to do much to it, and they can just turn around. And now losing a fair few models, also out of position a little bit as well. Iconoclast Zealot's able to get some shots in. And yeah, just what was that? One squad of Black Templars going down there, or at least a fair few of them being killed. Only 2 sword brethren left. These guys are very expensive to replace. 65 blue, 10 green. And while these guys are now focusing on the Chronicles Zealots, they don't mind dying. They can pop their space paracetamol and be totally fine. Dear oh dear. Do have the Emperor's Champion, which by the by, we've not seen him before. Look at how mighty he looks. With that little Caesar-esque laurels on his temple. Very nice. Absolute beast in close combat. Very difficult to take him on. We do have a chaplain as well. Chaplain over here. Healing the boys, but my goodness, at this point you kind of want to lure the Crusade or the Chaos Vindicator into battle and maybe get some flanking maneuvers on it. But we've only got infantry, or heavy infantry, sorry. No vehicles at the moment. We go for some... Okay, Black Templar Assault Squad. Jumping in, forcing the Vindicator to move back a bit while these guys move forward and get in range, possibly. Maybe get some melter bombs on them. It's not... I don't know about that. I'd say probably, like we saw in the previous game, get some vehicles to be that front line, but you don't really have the economy for it, do you? Seeing some war gear bionics should hopefully help them stand the test against the damage that the Vindicator could bring to bear. Here he comes. Moving on forward. One blast. These guys are now almost at close quarters, but they're turning around to go up against these Iconoclast Zealots. Now focusing on these ladies. That's not where you want to go. But the Crusader Fire Support Squad pushing forward, not quite able to catch up with the Vindicator. Trying to get surround on it, prevent it from running by too quickly. There we go. A couple of shots in there. Move you guys forward, man. A moment of laxity spoils a lifetime of faith. Here come the Hell Talons now. And realistically with those guys, kind of want to just ignore the battle going on in the middle. Move them straight over. Oh, right, there's some... Right, okay, fair enough. There's some economy on the southern side. This Vindicator unable to turn around now. Falling further back into the base. Using those structures as a natural deterrent for these guys to push anywhere further forward. But the Defiler rocking forward with a heavy bolt upgrade soon to be manifested. And the Sword Brethren don't care. They've got power weapon. And while they can't exactly kill it quickly, they can kill it gradually and slowly over time. Altan there, moving forward. And all this is free real estate. Free to a good home. And one melter bomb, killing that Vindicator. Now is the time to open hell inside the Chaos base. I'm building another one. Probably want to kill this again. Go and get it down. If they didn't go for that Chaos Army, they would have already got a surround on this by now. Defiler crab walking over. And the artillery knocks these guys around, preventing them from getting that DPS in there. No, they won't be able to get it down. Nowhere near as close as previously.
Our will is reforged.
I mean, maybe the case is just get out of here. But are you stubborn and just standing in the middle? Not wanting to come out, but standing in between these two buildings, it does force all these guys to sit quite close to each other. Ideal target for the Vindicator there. So unfortunate, man. Heart literally breaking here. Now seeing some weapons being brought to bear in structures down south. Vindicator once again being surrounded. It's not all over. Gonna fire at these guys off in the distance. They can just get inside firing range. Another one being killed, that'd be great for them. One blast knocks them all over around. Can they get it? And oh no, morale being broken now. So even if they can fire, they won't do that much damage. Just some bad life choices here. Fawn Princess sneaking around the backsides as well. So the firing line for the Black Templars has collapsed. The front line has also been beaten up by Zealots and Defilers. Black Templars don't really have much going on. What are you building in response? Well, the Helltons are coming over and killing stuff. You don't really have the money to reinforce. I mean, you've got the money to reinforce, but not really to buy any new units at the moment. Plenty of green money there. So could have done with a couple of vehicles in their composition, just to make use of all this money that's not being spent. I mean, maybe what the idea would be if you had some transport vehicles chasing after that Vindicator, dropping off the multi-melters, firing away before then getting back in and continuing the chase. That's what I would recommend. There we go. Black Templars have gone. But that was a solid effort. My goodness. Like, it all happened here. If they got the kill here, they would have won. But they lacked the confidence. I suppose that is another strategy against aggressive players or against the Chaos Space Marines, is just be confident, right? If you're going to lose, you're going to lose. If you're going to win, you're going to win. You can always play again, can't you? So yeah, so I hope you found this entertaining. Like I say, I don't normally go for very technical kind of casts. I do quite like to just meme around and just have a grand old time. But you know, sometimes gotta get those technical casts in. So yeah, thank you so much, Custom King, for sending those games in to the Discord. If you want to support the channel, have a look at the old Patreon. £1 a month gets you one extra game a week, and there is also a Discord where Discord things happen. Link in the description as always. As for Mr. Landshark, which is always never short, and I will see you in a bit. Peace.